Owning a car is a beautiful thing. It provides you with the freedom of mobility to be able to move from point A to point B without being dependent on a third party such as public transport or Uber. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 first-time cars that are both economical and fuel efficient and affordable, because that's important. So economical, fuel efficient, and affordable, because sometimes cars that are fuel efficient are not necessarily affordable, or cars that don't charge gas and rather are charged in other ways like Tesla is not necessarily going to be in this video. So I want to make that clear. I got you. So I'm going to make sure that I'm sharing cars that are economical, fuel efficient, and affordable. All right, just to take a minute and just think about what you're looking for in your first car. Fuel efficiency in this economy is like the most romantic thing because, you know, maybe romantic is not the word, rather it provides you peace of mind to know that you can pour petrol on the first of the month and that petrol will last you the entire month. That is something that I personally do with my car. And this, I must put a disclaimer, will probably only work if you live within a 10-kilometer radius from where you work. So if you live within a 10-kilometer radius, then chances are your petrol will last you the entire month if you are going to work Monday to Friday. So even if you don't live in a 10-kilometer radius, but you are occasionally working from home, the math should still math in the sense that your petrol should last you the entire month. Your full tank can last you the entire month, unless if you've got road trips or getaways or you're gallivanting during the weekend, then that's different. But in this case, I'm going to be giving you 5 cars that will probably have a full tank enough to last you the entire month if you live and work within a 10-kilometer radius. Make sense? Cool. First place, we have the Nissan Micra. Not to be biased, okay, maybe I am a little bit biased because this was my first car in 2017 and I still drive it to date. So I've had it for over 5 years and it's really been the most reliable car I could have ever gotten. It gives me so much peace of mind. Besides minor maintenances here and there as expected with any car, I have not had any serious issues with the Nissan Micra, so hence why it's coming first on the list, because it's a car that I've tried and tested and therefore I can bet on it and vouch for it that a Nissan Micra is a very, very good first time car to get. Therefore we'll be driving this one until the wheels fall off. Okay, not literally, because that sounds horrific. We don't want the wheels to fall off. But yeah, we'll drive it for as long as we can drive it, purely because as an individual, I think it's always smart to put your money in places where your money can grow versus throwing it in a car that you're not going to reap anything from it, because cars do depreciate. So just be a little bit mindful with regards to that when you are selecting your car. Number 2, we've got the Grand i10, the Hyundai Grand i10 or the i20. Either one is a good first-time car. Which one you'll choose will mostly depend on your budget, but would also be dependent on your height. I don't know if you guys have seen the i10. It's quite tiny. I don't know if anyone that's above 5'8" or more than 1.7 meters would fit comfortably in an i10, but it works for a lot of people. Therefore that's why I have it on the list. I've seen friends that own this car and it's been a very reliable car that they've had for years as well. Number 3, we have the Renault Kwid. Is that how you say it? Is it a Kwid or a Kwid? Not quite sure. It's almost spelled like K-Wind. So yeah. In third place, we've got the Renault Kwid or Kwid. It's coming in third place because I believe it's got a 1-liter engine, which is really, really cool because it means that your petrol will definitely last you for quite some time. I believe that you are able to cover 100 kilometers with less than 5 liters. The actual amount is like 4 point something, which is just insane. In this economy where petrol prices are always just skyrocketing, a Kwid might be a good car to consider, especially if you are in your early 20s. I feel like it's just one of those cars that work very well whether you are a student, you are a newly grad, or a newly professional. If you are in those ages, I would recommend the Renault Kwid because I feel like it kind of works really well as your first time car, especially in that age range. Number 4, we've got the Ford Fiesta. The Ford Fiesta has been around for years and years and years. What's cool about it is that it doesn't immediately scream first car, meaning that you can have it, pay it off, have it for so much longer without feeling societal pressures to upgrade it, given that you are taking really good care of it and you got it without it being on an extremely high mileage as well. A Ford Fiesta is just one of those cars, early 20s, mid 20s, early 30s, late 30s. It's just that car that does not have an age to it, so it's really cool in that regard. This is the car that you can definitely drive until the wheels fall off, because it's just ageless in terms of who its people are. It's just one of those cars. In 5th place, we've got the Datsun Go. The Datsun Go is a car that is essentially very similar to the Nissan Micra. I would have had it upper in the list. I remember years ago when I was hunting for my first car, it was one of those cars that I was considering. The only reason why I have it in 5th place is because I didn't like the fact that it did not automatically come with airbags. I mean, yeah, we're trying to go affordable, but at what cost? Not at the cost of my life, for sure. So for me, when I consider a first-time car, I'm considering that some of these things are very basic and therefore should form part of the basic package. That really put me off years ago when I thought about the Datsun Go, because I was like, man, you're actually such a cute car and it comes in such cool colors, but the fact that you'd be paying more for airbags, I mean, you could, but like, that is just an essential that should be part of the basic package of your car. And I didn't understand why it wasn't, hence why it's coming in at number 5. Because here's a third pointer, safety. Safety is just one of those things, irrespective of how much you're going to be spending on your car, it should never be at the compromise of your safety. So airbags are a must, and try and get a car that gives you a lot of peace of mind. Try and get a car that you know you're not going to outgrow in a year or two. You want to have a car that doesn't add pressure. You're getting it to help you move from point A to point B, but there's so much more to life. There's so many other responsibilities, and I'm sure there are other financial goals that you'd like to have and see yourself achieve. Therefore, the car shouldn't be the be it and end all. It literally is just a vehicle. You know, vehicles are meant to get from point A to point B, either transporting things or transporting people or a person. So safety is a very big one, not just for yourself, but also if you're having passengers. Not to say get a car because you're gonna have passengers and you want them to be comfortable. Absolutely not, unless they're helping you pay for the car. But if you've got parents and they're much older, health and comfort tend to go hand in hand. I'm not saying break the bank, but do take such small things into consideration, especially if you know that you do long distance trips, be it you leaving the city, going back home to the village, or whatever the case might be. So those are just some of the things that you want to consider when you are getting your first car, especially if you do know that some of those family responsibilities will fall on you. With that said, I've got 2 bonus cars on the list for you to consider. Number 6, we have the Chevrolet Spark. I remember the Chevrolet Spark was definitely on my list, and one of my sisters actually used to work at General Motors when it was still in South Africa. And there was a family and friends discount. I think I was gonna get a 10% discount on the car, quite similar to the Nissan Micra as well. It's just one of those cars that you can drive for quite some time, very fuel efficient, very reliable, very economical as well when it comes to selecting and picking and buying your first car. Number 7, we've got the Kia Picanto, another good fuel efficient first time car that you could consider. Some golden tips. Again, if you are buying your first car, whether you're buying it brand new or secondhand, it doesn't matter. However, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. If you are buying a car secondhand, make sure that you are buying it from a reputable car place. Is that the word? Mechanic, car shop. Make sure you're buying it from a reliable source. I know sometimes there are cars that are sold on auction. Often enough, you're buying that car as is, meaning you don't know if it was in an accident last week and it just quickly got fixed. So personally, I would try and shy away from those, especially if it's going to be your personal car that you'll be driving day in and day out. So if you are buying a second-hand car, make sure that you're buying it from a reputable car shop, whatever they're called, from a reputable car shop, and that you are getting a service history book. And in your service history book, make sure that the car was going on its regular services, particularly major services. Minors, sometimes cars don't have to go for minors if the mileage is under, but it has to definitely have been going to its major services, because it means that it's been well taken care of. When it comes to mileage, try and stick under 100,000 kilometers, ideally under 50,000. But again, it will depend on what year model you're buying, how well serviced and how well taken care of the overall car was. And if you are buying your car brand new, make sure that you are avoiding the trap that many fall into, which is buying it with a balloon at the end. What that means is that if you are getting a brand new car and you're getting it financed and you have the option of having it have a balloon, it means that if the car was to actually, or rather the car actually cost 300,000 and you realize that you can't get fully financed for the 300,000, if there's a 30% balloon at the end, now my math is gonna just trick me, because what's 30% of 300,000? Let's see, 10% would be 30, so 90,000. It would mean that there's a 90,000 balloon at the end, meaning that your car is being financed on the 70%. In between, you're paying installments on the 70%, so you're paying installments on the 210. There's a 90,000 balloon at the end, meaning you can spend 5 years paying off your car. At the end of the 5 years, you've got a 30% balloon that's waiting for you, meaning you've got another 90,000 rand. So don't do that. That's just a big trap. Unless if you're planning to trade in your car and you don't really care about ownership, then maybe to each their own. But at the end of the day, make a decision that is financially smart for you, not just for today, but for tomorrow too. And remember, when you own a car, there are more costs associated to the car than just the installment that you'll be paying if you're getting it financed through the bank. It'll be your installment. The car needs to be insured, or the bank will not even let you drive away with the car. And then also you've got your monthly fuel that you need to be pouring into the car. You should be washing your car at least once a month or every 2 weeks. And then the car is going to need to go for maintenance, and maintenance is not something that happens every day, so don't let that scare you. Maintenance could be every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, every 2 years. You might need some new wheels or things like that. So just consider all those costs and try and make sure that you're not getting more car than you can afford, right? By that I mean, try and make sure that if your overall budget for your car is 3,000, 4,000 or 5,000, make sure that all of those costs are fitting within that budget. I hope this video was helpful. If you do follow all these steps, I have no doubt that you'll make the right decisions. So sit down, pen, paper, do your research, consider what works best for you, and I have no doubt that you will make the right decision. Go for it, and happy driving. Be safe out there on the roads. Until next time, bye.